Hey, what time is it now? How dare you sleep for so long? The sun is already high up in the sky and you still haven't bothered to get up and cook breakfast for me and your uncle? As the wife of my nephew, you should know the rules. Why do we have to wait for you to wake up like this? Aunt Regina? Why are you texting me so early? It's only 6 a.m. now. I barely managed to get 4 hours of sleep last night, so I'm really tired. If you need something, feel free to take food from the fridge and cook for yourselves. What? What did you just say? Do you expect me to cook breakfast on my own? How disrespectful and ill-mannered of you. In my hometown, daughter-in-laws are not allowed to sleep this late. I don't understand how my sister-in-law can have a daughter-in-law like you. Who in the world allows a daughter-in-law to sleep in this late? But, Auntie, it's different from your hometown. I have to work until late at night, so I can't wake up early. It's time to realize that we're living in a different era. You shouldn't hold on to old-fashioned beliefs that dictate a daughter-in-law must wake up early. Hey, it's not different. This has been a family tradition for ages. Are you suggesting that we are old and outdated? Unable to keep up with your modern lifestyle? You are a descendant of this family. How can you disregard your upbringing like this? Who told you to stay up late? Why didn't you sleep earlier so you could wake up early? Waking up late is considered lazy and uneducated. Excuse me? But you made me stay up late yesterday to clean the guest bedroom for you and Uncle John. After that, you made me cook late-night food for the two of you. You even forced me to sit there and wait for you to finish eating before I could wash the dishes and finally go to sleep. If you had taken care of all that yourself, or at least told us beforehand, I could have gone to bed early. I went to visit my sister-in-law's house, which has been her house since my brother passed away. It's not your house. So why did I still have to inform you? You are the niece-in-law, and it's your responsibility to welcome and take care of me and my husband. And now you have the audacity to complain about it? When we come to your house as guests, didn't your parents teach you that you can't force them to work? And yet you still have the nerve to call yourself a highly educated city girl? I never call myself that. Plus, if you're here to visit my mother-in-law, shouldn't you have called first to ask if she's home or not? Because if you had bothered to call ahead of time, you would have known that my mother-in-law has gone on a trip and won't be back until the next weekend. It doesn't matter. I have all the time in the world. I'll stay right here until your mother-in-law returns. And during that time, I'll make sure to help her reteach her daughter-in-law. She will soon thank me for giving her a decent girl who understands the rules. Unlike you, do you have any idea how much effort I put into teaching your mother to be a good, sensible sister-in-law? But now she's found herself a disrespectful daughter-in-law, just like she used to be. Aunt Regina, don't you think you're going way too far? Not only are you criticizing me, but you're also attacking my mother-in-law. What have I done to deserve constant insults about my manners and education? Oh, I could talk about your manners when I saw you dressed in that revealing outfit last night. How can a supposedly gentle and kind girl like you prance around the house in a sundress like that? It's unacceptable. Aunt Regina, those were my pajamas, and I never wear them outside my own room. But I guess you wouldn't know that because you and Uncle John burst into my room without any consideration and started yelling at me. Well, if you insist on dressing like that, you might as well walk around naked. It's so infuriating. You should learn to dress modestly. Your comments are absolutely ridiculous. I wear that in the privacy of my own room, within the confines of my own house. You have no right to dictate what I wear. And by the way, next time you want to enter my room, you better knock first. What if I were changing and you and Uncle John barged in? Don't you know the basic courtesy of knocking? How dare you speak to me like that? Now you're lecturing me on manners? And why couldn't I open your door to wake you up this morning? I'm not intentionally teaching you. It's just a suggestion that every polite person would do. And I purposely locked the door because I knew you had no respect for people's privacy. Since last night when you invaded my room, I realized that I needed to protect myself. So I locked my door, and as expected, I heard you banging on it early this morning. But I was too tired to respond. So you deliberately ignored me, huh? No, you're not allowed to do that. From now on, you must keep your door open so I can check on you whenever I please. I won't allow you to do as you please. And I've been asking you repeatedly, why haven't you come down to cook breakfast for me? Get down here right this instant. I'm not coming down. Aunt Regina, I've had enough of your unreasonable demands and constant belittling. I am not your personal servant, nor am I obliged to fulfill your every whim. You have arms and legs. You're perfectly capable of taking care of yourself. But instead, you expect me to serve you hand and foot. If you weren't a relative of my husband's family, I would have thrown you out of this house since last night. How dare you talk back to me like this? I am your elder, and you should show me respect. Respect is earned, Aunt Regina, and it's a two-way street. I have shown you nothing but respect, despite your continuous disrespect towards me. But I won't tolerate being treated as less than human or being criticized for things that are beyond my control. You should be grateful that I even bother to come and visit. I am doing you a favor by gracing you with my presence. Aunt Regina, your visits are not favors. They are a part of being a family. And it's clear that you don't understand the meaning of family or respect. Your constant complaints and attempts to belittle me and my mother-in-law only show your own lack of character. How dare you question my character? I have lived longer than you and have more experience. You're just a disrespectful, modern girl who has no appreciation for tradition and values. Oh, I get it. You look down on me, don't you? You think just because I come from a small town, my words don't hold any value? Well, let me tell you something, young lady. My experiences and wisdom surpass your modern city lifestyle. You may have your fancy education, but it seems you've forgotten the importance of listening to your elders and respecting their opinions. Aunt Regina, I want to clarify that I have never dismissed your words solely based on your hometown. I have always tried to listen and understand your perspective. However, it seems like you're twisting my words and misinterpreting my intentions. And yes, you're right. While I don't have the authority to ask you to leave because it's not my house, I do have the right to choose not to step foot out of my room. As for breakfast, I appreciate your concern, but I don't have an appetite right now. You don't have to go through the trouble of cooking for me. Please focus on preparing breakfast for your husband if you wish. You're being stubborn and disrespectful. I told you to come down here and cook breakfast for me, not for me to cook for you. You should show some obedience and humility as a daughter-in-law. Dina! Aunt Regina, where are you? What have you done with my clothes? When I came back from work, all the clothes in my closet were cut up like this. What's the surprise? Didn't I tell you before? I will reteach you on behalf of your mother. A married woman must wear clothes with long sleeves and trousers. Look how ridiculous your dresses are. So, I cut them all. Aunt Regina, I've had enough of your interference and disrespect. Cutting up my clothes and insulting me is crossing the line. This is my house, and I won't tolerate such behavior from anyone, not even my family. You dare speak to me like that? You should show respect to your elders. I am trying to guide you and teach you how to be a proper daughter-in-law. Not a single thing in my closet is intact. What have you done? I just forgot to lock the door for one day and everything was ruined. How dare you enter my room, rummage through my things, and wreak havoc like that? Do you know how expensive these clothes are? Guidance and teaching don't involve destroying someone's personal belongings and insulting them. Your actions are unacceptable and I won't stand for it. I demand an apology and reimbursement for the clothes you ruined. So what? In my hometown, a girl who wears short skirts and dresses like that is called a prostitute. Ah, I got it. You dress like this for your uncle to look at you, right? Apologize. You should be the one apologizing for your disgraceful behavior and for neglecting your duties as a daughter-in-law. I will not apologize for upholding our traditions and values. How can you be so old-fashioned? How is that opinion still existing in this era? I have the right to wear whatever I want. You're not my biological mom. You're not my mother-in-law. Just a distant relative. You have no right or authority to tell me what to do. Besides, these are the clothes I wear when going to work. I am positive that these outfits are not sexy at all. Whom do you think you're calling old-fashioned? Do you believe I would slap you in the face if I were there? What kind of descendant are you? You're so rude. I'll tell your mother-in-law and she'll beat you up. I haven't even asked you yet about daring to go to work today, okay? So why did you come back and scold me? What does that mean? What's wrong with going to work? Before going to work, I also said hello to you and Uncle John. I didn't leave without saying anything. Who allowed you to go? Or did you just say it and leave without caring about my opinion? You're so uneducated. Didn't your parents teach you? Your uncle and aunt are here to visit your family. You should host them instead of going to work. But my work is very important. I can't be absent. I work for a company that has its own policies and rules. I can't just be absent whenever I want. Hey, listen up. As women, taking care of in-laws is the most important. Work means nothing. You know what? I'm sick of you two. Since you came here and stayed at my house, you've tried to mess with me. You've criticized me all the time and on everything I've done. It's as if you have some kind of pleasure in belittling and demeaning me. You should be grateful that we even bothered to visit you and stay in your house. We could have chosen to stay elsewhere. Grateful? For what? For the constant criticism and disrespect? I don't owe you any gratitude for making me feel miserable in my own home. If you're not happy here, you're more than welcome to find another place to stay. So, do you mean that you want to kick me and Uncle John out of the house? How dare you say that? This is my sister-in-law's house, and we have the right to be here. You will regret treating us like this. Your husband and mother-in-law will hear about your disrespectful behavior. Let them hear. I will not be silenced or made to feel guilty for standing up for myself. I deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. If they chose to side with you blindly, then perhaps it's time for me to reassess my relationships with them as well. Hey there, Dina. How are things at home? Is the world of two people happy? Don't worry about this old lady. I'm having a great time hanging out with my friends here. Hi, Mom. Actually, not two, but 3 people. 3 people? What do you mean? Isn't it my son bringing his mistress home? No, Mom, it's not that. In fact, after my mother left, my husband had to go on an urgent business trip. But then, Aunt Regina and Uncle John unexpectedly visited our house for almost 3 days now. Mom, I'm sorry, but I couldn't stand those 2 anymore, so I had to say harsh words and want to kick them out of the house. What? What did you just say? John and Regina have been staying at our home for 3 days? And you just kicked them out of my house? That's right. I told them that I wanted them to leave the house, but they refused to go and said that I have no rights because it was your house, and they want to stay there until you come back to claim justice. What did they do to make you so angry? Aren't you normally a very patient person? On the first day they arrived, late at night, they forced me to clean the guest bedroom for them to stay in and made me cook late-night meals and clean up after them. Then, they burst into my room, criticizing the way I dress, saying I look like a stripper. The next morning, Aunt Regina woke me up early and told me I was uneducated and lazy because I didn't cook breakfast for them. And recently, she shredded all the dresses and clothes in my closet. She even said I had to take time off work to take care of in-laws' family. I was extremely upset and couldn't stand it, so I told them to move out. Oh, that's unbelievable, Dina. How could you do that? Why did you kick them out after 3 days like that? You've really disappointed me. Mommy, are you disappointed that I kicked them out of the house after everything they did to me? I thought you would defend me. No, Dina. This time, I cannot agree with your behavior. Dina, I can't believe you let them trample all over you for 3 whole days. You should have stood up for yourself from the moment they crossed the threshold of our house. How could you let them treat you so disrespectfully? What? So, you're not mad at me for behaving disrespectfully to Aunt Regina and Uncle John? Oh no, Dina. I'm mad. Really mad. Why couldn't you stand up for yourself earlier? And why are you texting me now after 3 days? What makes me even angrier is that they dared to treat my beloved daughter-in-law like that. The daughter-in-law that I cherish and love. But now I have to serve them like this? I will definitely make them regret it. Mom, I tried to be patient and give them a chance to change. I didn't want to cause more conflict or upset everyone. Plus, I know you're on a trip right now and I didn't want to bother you with all of this. I thought I could handle the situation on my own. Patience has its limits, Dina, and they have clearly taken advantage of your kindness. You should have shown them the door the moment they started criticizing you and invading your privacy. They have no right to treat you like this. And Dina, you're never a bother to me. As your mother-in-law, it's my responsibility to protect you and ensure your well-being. No matter where I am, I will always be there for you. Don't hesitate to reach out to me when you need help. Thanks, Mom. I'm glad that I have a wonderful mother-in-law like you. But what should we do now? Dina, I've made up my mind. No one, absolutely no one, is going to bully my daughter-in-law and get away with it. With their personalities, I can be sure that they won't leave. Pack your things immediately. I'm going to book a flight ticket for you to join me on this trip. We'll be together and away from all this chaos. It's time to show Regina and John that they can't just invade our home and treat you with such disrespect. Mom, are you sure? I don't want to intrude on your trip or cause any inconvenience. Dina, from this point forward, I'll take charge of the situation. I will ensure that Regina and John face the consequences of their actions. They will have to pay for what they've done to you and our family. Trust me, they will think twice before messing with us again. Thank you, Mom, for being there for me and for supporting me through this. I'm grateful to have you by my side. Dina, where are you? Do you know what time it is? No decent girl would come home this late, especially a married woman like you. You're so disgustingly spoiled. Oh, Regina, it's been far too long since we've had the pleasure of conversing, and you choose to greet me with such vile insults. Where have all your pretenses of etiquette disappeared? Dina, what are you talking about? Are you playing dumb with me? Oh, are you searching for Dina? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, but she's currently indulging in some well-deserved pampering at the spa, trying to cleanse herself of the torment inflicted upon her by none other than you, dear my husband's sister. And yet, I haven't even begun to exact revenge for the atrocious treatment you subjected my beloved daughter-in-law to. But let's settle everything today, shall we? Hold on. Husband's sister? Are you Taylor? And aren't you on a trip? But why do you have Dina's phone? How did you get hold of Dina's phone? Yes, I am Taylor, your esteemed sister-in-law. Well, you see, after hearing about the 2 individuals who had the audacity to invade and torment my household, I couldn't bear the thought of my daughter-in-law suffering any longer. So I instructed her to gather her belongings and join me on this trip. There was no way Dina could endure the nonsensical demands of uninvited guests. Don't you agree? What are you insinuating? Are you accusing me and my husband of unlawfully entering your house? How dare you make such baseless claims? Remember, this is my brother's house, and I have every right to be here, wherever I please, without your permission. And how dare you address me in such a disrespectful manner? Have you completely forgotten all the manners I tirelessly instilled in you? Well, it seems you've forgotten one thing. This house is owned by me. The real estate papers are all in my name. So anyone who enters that house without my permission is committing an unauthorized break-in. And what about the etiquette you taught me? Did you make a mistake? When I first became a bride, it was you who constantly bullied me, nagging me all day long, insisting that I serve your family like a servant. Ha! Do you still hold on to that old-fashioned view that a daughter-in-law should always treat her husband's family like gods and serve without ever daring to complain? How dare you mock me and question my teachings? You have no right to challenge the values and traditions that have been upheld for generations. A daughter-in-law must submit herself to the authority of her husband's family and serve them without question. Oh, how convenient for you to hide behind outdated traditions and use them as a shield for your own self-interest. Is that how you justify your mistreatment of others? Well, times have changed, Aunt Regina. Women have fought for their rights, and we refuse to be silenced and oppressed any longer. We deserve respect and dignity, just like anyone else. Respect? Dignity? You think you deserve respect after the way you and your daughter-in-law treated us? We came to your house out of goodwill, and this is how you repay us? By insulting and kicking us out? Goodwill? Is that what you call it? Invading my home? Criticizing my daughter-in-law? And tearing apart her belongings? What's your idea of goodwill? Maybe in the past you could bully me, and it took me a long time to stand up for myself and leave the countryside with people like you. But even after I moved to the city, do you still want me to bully my daughter-in-law? Let me tell you, I will not let my daughter-in-law go through such miserable days again. You have no right to force my daughter-in-law. You've crossed the line, Regina, and now you'll face the consequences. And what consequences do you think you can bring upon us? You cannot touch us. We are a family. I am your husband's sister. Oh, you underestimate me, Regina. I may have tolerated your behavior for far too long, but no more. Get the hell out of my house at once and return all of Dina's clothes you ruined, totaling $50,000. And best of all, never show up and bother my family again. This is the final warning. You think you can scare us with your empty threats? We'll see about that. I won't go. I won't leave this place. This is my brother's house. I have the right to stay here. You're nothing but a troublemaker, Taylor. Oh, I assure you, Regina, I am far from being just a troublemaker. These are not empty threats. These are promises. I have gathered evidence of your harassment, destruction of property, and emotional abuse. And guess what? I've already contacted a lawyer. But that's not all. I've also reported your illegal break-in to my house to the police. So don't even think about denying your guilt. The law will hold you accountable for your actions, and justice will be served. You're just trying to scare us, Dina. We won't back down. Scare you? No, I'm beyond that now. I am determined to bring you to justice and ensure that you pay for the pain and suffering you've inflicted on my family. You will face legal repercussions, financial penalties, and the tarnishing of your reputation. I will not rest until you are held responsible for your actions. You're making a huge mistake, Dina. We'll fight back. Ooh, I welcome your resistance, Regina. Your attempts to fight back will only dig your own grave deeper. So get out of my house now, and be prepared to face the consequences that await you. This is not just about me or my family anymore. It's about standing up against bullies like you and ensuring that no one else has to suffer under your tyranny. As the days dragged on, the truth slapped John and Regina right in the face. The evidence against them was rock solid, leaving no room for denial. Finally, justice was served, and they were made to pay up big time. The court ruled in my favor, slapping them with a hefty compensation bill for all the crap they put me through. It was a sweet victory, and they were left with no choice but to face the music. But that wasn't the end of it. Oh no, they didn't just get away with their twisted games. The court's decision came with a harsh consequence. They were kicked out of my life for good. That's right, banned, erased, gone from existence. They were never allowed to step foot into my domain again, let alone bother my precious family. They were left to lick their wounds and wallow in the mess they created. Meanwhile, my relationship with Taylor flourished amidst the chaos. That woman, let me tell you, she's a warrior. Her unwavering support, love, and determination to seek justice gave me strength and hope. We forged a deep and unbreakable connection, transcending the boundaries of a traditional mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship. Taylor became more than just a mother-in-law to me. She became a trusted confidant, a guiding force, a true friend. We shared laughter, tears, and moments of triumph together. She celebrated my victories and provided comfort during my darkest times. Her presence in my life brought joy and a sense of security that I had never experienced before. With Taylor by my side, I learned the true meaning of family and found solace in knowing that I was not alone in this journey. We supported each other, lifted each other up, and celebrated the beauty of our unique bond. I am eternally grateful for her love, wisdom, and unwavering belief in me.